Chapter 2 Silly Food. It was daylight outside. A rooster crowed in the distance. The air was damp and cool. Good, it's really early, said Jack, so we have a whole day and night until break of day tomorrow to do our mission. Perfect, said Annie. And look, we get to wear our own clothes for once. Oh, man, said Jack. He was still in his jeans and t-shirt, and his backpack was still a backpack. Is that a mistake? Jack and Annie looked out the window together. Mountains rose majestically over the town that they had landed in. The treehouse was in the tallest tree in a grove at the edge of a quiet street. Along the street were shops and other buildings and a few cars. Cars, Jack said with relief. No mistake, said Annie. Our clothes didn't change because we came to China in modern times. Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out some paper money. Cool. My clothes didn't change, but my money changed from dollars to Chinese money. Perfect, said Annie. She looked out the window again and read some signs from the buildings. Wolong Town Bank, Wolong Town School, Wolong Town Bicycle Shop. I think we landed in Wolong Town. Wow, said Jack. How did you figure that out? Annie laughed. So let's go look for some Wolong Town food. Okay, but the food we have to find doesn't sound like normal food, said Jack. Grainy and good, but tough as wood. Annie smiled. Oh, you always find something to worry about, she said. Come on. Annie headed down the treehouse ladder. Jack packed away their book in his backpack and followed her. Together they stepped out from the grove of trees and headed down a busy sidewalk. Vendors were setting up stalls to sell crafts and pottery. Some girls and boys were passing by carrying book bags. They were dressed in jeans, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. See, kids just like us, on their way to school, said Annie. So here's Jack, and here's Annie, and their brother and sister. They're in Wolong Town. We took a detour to have breakfast halfway around the world, said Jack. Speaking of breakfast, how about going there? Annie pointed to a restaurant with tables outside. Garden Paradise, Jack said, reading the sign. Sounds like a good place to start. Jack and Annie crossed the street to the restaurant. Tables were set up near potted bamboo plants. A waiter poured tea for someone reading a newspaper. Jack glanced at the front page of the paper and saw the date. It's May 12th, 2008, he said. Cool, said Annie. The waiter nodded at Jack and Annie. Then he led them to a table that had two small bowls on it. Green tea, he asked, or yak butter tea? Jack and Annie answered together, green. The waiter left and came back with a teapot. He poured pale green tea into two small bowls. Then he gave Jack and Annie menus and went to check on other customers. Yak butter tea, Jack said. I don't think so. Annie giggled as she looked at her menu. How about some green bean jelly? I don't think so. Jack scanned his menu. Aha! What about chicken feet? Ew, said Annie. Okay, how about this? Jack said gleefully. Fried stinky tofu. Ew, said Jack and Annie together. They laughed loudly, and Annie nearly fell out of her chair. Jack saw the waiter frowning at them from across the garden. Shh, Jack said. We're being rude. Sorry, Annie whispered in the direction of the waiter. We have funny sounding food at home too, she said to Jack, like hot dogs. Oh, yeah, how about sour cream, said Jack, or squash? Ah, squash, Annie laughed. Okay, let's get serious now, said Jack. We have a mission. He took the little scroll from his pack, unrolled it, and read. A healthy food, grainy and good, baked with love, tough as wood, round in shape, the color of sand, given to those who have lost their land. It's a riddle, said Annie. It is, said Jack. Maybe we should just ask the waiter for his help. He waved politely at the waiter's direction. When the waiter came to the table, he gave them a tight smile. You ready to order now? He asked. Actually, we have some questions, said Jack. The waiter nodded. Do you serve food that's the color of sand? Annie asked. The waiter stared at her. Jack felt awkward. Or food that's like as tough as wood, he said. Food like sand and wood, the waiter said. Not exactly, Jack said. Are you trying to be funny? The waiter interrupted. He gave Jack a fierce look. Sinking down in his chair, Jack shook his head. Well, the answer is no, said the waiter. We don't have such silly food. Oh, okay, said Jack. Is there something else you would like? the waiter asked. No thanks, said Jack. He could feel his face turning red. The waiter slapped their check on the table and walked away. Well, we should leave, said Jack, standing up. He looked at the check, then took out 20 yen note out of his pocket and left it on the table. Come on. He walked quickly around the tables to the exit. Annie hurried after him. Back on the sidewalk, Jack sighed. So, where do we go to look for this weird food now? Maybe the guidebook can help us, Annie said. Maybe, said Jack. He pulled out their book and looked up Wolong Town in the index. He turned to a page and read aloud. Wolong means sleeping dragon. Wolong is inside the Wolong National Nature Reserve, which is circled by a mountain range called the Sleeping Dragon. According to legend, a dragon fell in love with the beauty of the mountains and trees. He curled around them to take a nap and never woke up. That's cool, said Annie. Yeah, but it doesn't help us, said Jack. He read more. Wolong Reserve is home to rare Asian animals such as giant pandas, golden snub-nosed monkeys, white-lipped deer, and wait, back up, said Annie. Did you say giant pandas? Yes, said Jack. Oh my gosh, said Annie. She covered her heart with her hands. My life's dream has finally come true. What life's dream? Said Jack, looking at her. Pandas? Yes, I've always wanted to see real pandas up close. Haven't you? Said Annie. She took the guidebook and flipped through the pages until she found photos of pandas. She read aloud. In 1980, the Conservation and Research Center for the Giant Panda was set up in the Wolong Reserve to be a safe haven for the animals. A panda center? We have to go there, said Annie. Now! Wait, wait, said Jack. We have a mission. Why are you acting so crazy about pandas? I can't help it, said Annie. All my life I've wanted to meet real pandas. Remember my two stuffed animals, Rolly and Polly? I loved them so much. You know that. Okay. But we have to stick to our mission, Jack said. We have lots of time to find that special food, said Annie. Wulong has other restaurants. It can't be that hard to find a weird food. Hey, I have a good idea. She gave the good guidebook back to Jack and then started off. Come with me. Wait, stop. Where are you going? Jack said. We passed a bicycle shop earlier, Annie said, called over her shoulder. I bet they rent bikes. What? Are you crazy? Jack put his book away and walked after her. Where is this panda center? He called. We might not have enough time to get there and back and complete our mission. Plus, renting bikes costs money. We don't know how much. Let's find out, said Annie. She started running up the street to the Wolong Town bicycle shop.